Beneath Spain's wrought iron balconies and cobblestone streets lie voices. They are trapped in objects from the past. When touched, when the sun goes down, they tell their story. Be advised that this is a horror podcast with very adult themes. It's nice to be loved, isn't it? But the thing is, some people get confused about what love is. They think they love you, but they're really just afraid of being alone. They're using you to fill a void, to comfort their own pain. You might even buy it at first, but the second you realize that they don't really care about you, the moment you stop reciprocating, the mask comes off, and you'll discover that you were being loved by a monster. Yo soy Samuel. Bienvenido a Spanish Sundown. San Martín de Valdeiglesias Village, Community of Madrid, 2025. I'm in bed, in the dark. Rory is under the covers with me. I can feel his fur against my bare legs. That's Mommy, coming to say goodnight to me. I don't like it when she comes to say goodnight to me. I turn my back to her, making sure that Rory is between me and the wall, still under the covers. I can feel his chest breathing against my body. I don't want her to find him. She walks over and kneels next to my bed. She puts her hand on my shoulder, right on top of my collarbone. Leo, are you still awake? It's no use to lie. Yeah. She grabs my shoulder a little bit tighter. Remember we have a big day tomorrow? Uh-huh. Her fingertips are right next to the bruise now. Remember where we're going? I forget her fingers on my shoulder for a second. We're going to the castle. That's right, we are. And remember the two things we're going to look for? The portcullis and the embrasures. I learned about the parts of our village castle at school. I'm excited about that. Mommy keeps talking. We've got errands to run during the day. Then we'll go to the castle in the afternoon. And we'll look for the portcullis and the embrasures. So get some sleep, okay? I love you. When she says I love you, I remember her hand on my shoulder. Her fingertips brush against my collarbone. It's the same spot as always, where there's a bruise. Did you hear me, Leo? I love you. I love you so much. I need you to love me too. You know, my daddy wasn't always nice to me, and I have bad memories from the army. Yeah, I know, Mommy. I don't say anything for a minute. That's a mistake. She starts to push against the bruise. It really hurts. My ears start ringing. I say as fast as I can, I love you too, Mommy. She's still pushing. I'm supposed to keep talking. I say it really quick. I know the sooner I do, the better. Mommy, you're the best mommy in the whole wide world. She pulls her hand back, leans down, and kisses me on the forehead. You're such a sweet boy. Then she gets up and leaves my room. The ringing stops. Phew. She didn't notice Rory. The last time she caught me in bed with my pet lion, she got angry. When Mommy gets angry, she doesn't yell. She smiles and finds that same spot on my shoulder. She said, "You're way too old to always be talking to a stuffed animal, Leo. You know he's not real, right?" I know Rory isn't a real lion. I'm not stupid. I'm just 6. Mommy says I have an overactive imagination. I just want to keep Rory safe. I love him more than anybody, even more than Mommy. I have to protect him. I pull him up under the covers. I'm excited about the castle tomorrow. I want to pretend to be a knight, like the ones I learn about at school. I want to shoot arrows like them. They were soldiers, like Mommy. I snuggle Rory and close my eyes. He purrs, stretches his legs out, then pushes his little back against me. He's my best friend in the whole world. Tomorrow is gonna be a big day. When I wake up the next morning, I really need to pee. My tummy feels like it has a water balloon inside it. I rush to make my bed first, just like Mommy taught me. Pull the sheets tight, then the blanket. No wrinkles. Then I put Rory into my backpack.
Rory, promise you'll stay still and not make any noise, okay?
Good thing I got him inside the backpack when I did, because Mommy opens up the door right then. She never knocks. She's already showered, and her hair is pulled back into a tight ponytail.
Rise and shine! Today's the big day.
I smile as big as I can. Smiling keeps her happy.
I'm ready. Oh, you won't need your backpack today, bud.
Wait, what? I can't leave Rory here all alone. I have to think fast.
Oh, I need it.
She's staring into my eyes.
Why? 'Cause I want to be strong like you. I want to carry a backpack like you did, in the army.
And then she smiles. Good. She's in a good mood today.
Oh, I guess that's all right then. Come on, let's go. We've got lots of errands, and we want to make it to the castle before it closes for the day.
I don't want to make us late, so I don't go to the bathroom. The errands take forever. All day. We stop for a sandwich, and Mommy asks if I want something to drink.
No, I'm okay. Not even a Coca-Cola? Yeah.
I don't tell her it's because I still have to pee. When we finally park the car, the sun is almost going down. I've seen this castle every day, but today's the first day I'm going inside, and I am so excited. It's all made of stone. Most of the stones are white, but a few of them are black. It reminds me of a vanilla ice cream cake with chocolate sprinkles. It's like a big square box with round towers on the four corners. And you can smell the green furry moss. It covers the walkway that goes all along on top of the wall. I can feel Rory wiggling around inside the backpack against my back while we walk toward the entrance.
Shh. Rory, quit moving around.
Then, before we even get inside, I see it.
Look, Mommy, that's the portcullis.
The portcullis is a really big gate in a really big opening that goes up and down to open and shut. The gate's made of metal, and it's rusty, so it looks red, even though I don't think it used to be. I look up at the bottom of the gate hanging above our heads and see that the tips of the iron poles are really spiky. They're really sharp. Mommy smiles again. She looks at me.
Good job, Leo. You're right. This is the portcullis. The soldiers would shut the gate to defend themselves behind it. Now, we just have to find the embrasures. Mommy, did you fight in castles like this when you were a soldier in Afghanistan?
Mommy smiles even bigger. I'm glad she's in such a good mood today. I have fun with her when she's like this.
No, not like this one, no.
We walk under the sharp spikies. I imagine I'm on my horse. I'm riding with all the knights and soldiers. My armor is really heavy, and I'm getting so sweaty. Rory is running beside me. I'm going to defend Mommy and everyone in the castle from the Moors. I'm going to be a battle hero.
Leo, come on. Hurry up. The castle's gonna close.
I make my feet go a little faster to catch up to Mommy. We walk inside a visitor center. There's a girl on her phone. She looks up when we walk inside.
We're closing in an hour. If you want to join the last tour, you've got less than 2 minutes.
Mommy glances at her watch and then pays.
1 adult and 1 child's ticket then, please.
The girl points at a door.
The tour starts there, in the courtyard.
We walk out the door, and I notice a bathroom sign to the right. The balloon in my stomach is getting so big, I feel like it might burst. Mommy notices the sign too. She looks at her watch again.
You don't have to go to the bathroom, do you?
Only 2 minutes left?
No. I'm fine. Good boy.
We walk out onto the flat courtyard in the middle of the castle. There's sand and dead grass on the ground. We're in the center of the vanilla ice cream cake. The stone walls are really tall all around us. And now I can see the towers in the corners up close. We join a group of other people. I recognize people speaking in English, French.
Ah, mais c'est trop chouette, ce château. C'est la première fois que vous venez ici?
German.
Ich bin gespannt auf die Geschichte von dem Ort. Schlüssel sind so faszinierend.
There's a man standing in front of him. He speaks to me.
Well, hello there, young man. You two almost didn't make it. I'll be your tour guide. Is that your mother? Is it her fault you're late?
He has a really deep voice. I know he's joking, but I don't laugh. Because Mommy, she isn't smiling anymore. She doesn't think it's funny. Mommy puts her hand on my shoulder, right next to the bruise. Her hand is really close to the backpack, and I hope she doesn't notice Rory moving around inside. I don't know what to say. She moves her hand closer to the part that hurts, the part with the bruise. My ears start to ring. I blurt out,
No, she's the best mom ever.
She quickly moves her hand away. The man looks at Mommy.
Well, what a great kid you've got there.
She smiles again, and the ringing stops.
Isn't he, though?
The tour guide takes us through the whole castle, and it's really cool.
The castle of Coracera was built around 1434 by Don
We go out to the walkways with the moss and the vanilla ice cream and chocolate stone,
and then by the Nazi Condor Legion while aiding the Spanish nationalists.
and then out onto the tower, where we have to be really careful.
Watch your step. The wooden flooring is a bit rotten.
And then we go down a really narrow stone spiral stairway inside a turret.
And this is where the soldiers ran up and down to defend against invaders.
I guess those soldiers back then must have been really small like me, because I'm the only one who can run down it. All the grown-ups' legs are too big. They have to walk really slow.
Ach, mein Gott, this is so steep. Oh, mais merde. Could the soldiers really fight on this thing?
I'm still running. This is fun. This staircase goes down in such tight circles that I'm getting dizzy. I'd be having more fun if I didn't have to pee so bad. I'm the first to reach the bottom. There's a teeny tiny door that goes outside. I open it. It's almost nighttime now. I can just see the sun behind the mountains in the distance. The door is so small that most people would have to crouch. But I don't, because I'm just a kid. When I walk outside the door, I see another tower right in front of me. You have to walk through a really low tunnel to get inside it. But I think I can just barely see.
Ach, mein Gott. Are you okay? Are you okay? Oh, merde. Is she okay?
Looks like the lady behind me forgot to crouch. She smacked right into the doorframe.
Did she pass out? Ach, mein Gott. Is she okay? Stand back. Everyone, stand back. Ah, merde. Is she okay? Is she breathing?
All the grown-ups are distracted. even Mommy. I stand to the side because I don't want to get in the way. I look back at the tower and squint to look at the wall inside. Yup, definitely looks like sunlight. And guess what it's coming through? An embrasure. Yes, found it. I'm gonna go check it out. I walk through the narrow, low tunnel that leads to the tower and go inside. The inside of the tower is small and the floor is covered in dirt and gravel, except for one big stone in the middle, like a platform. And on the far wall, I was right. This is an embrasure. An embrasure is an opening that's wide on the inside and narrow on the outside. It's where the archers shot their arrows at the enemies. But it's too high up. I can't see out through it. Rory's squirming around in the backpack. Poor little lion. He's been in there all day. I'm gonna let him out for a minute. I unzip my backpack and Rory jumps onto the ground.
Shh, Rory, don't be so loud.
Rory goes right to the stone, flicks up his tail, and starts to pee.
No, Rory, don't do that.
When I hear somebody else pee, I always have to pee too. And I've been holding it all day. I can't hold it any longer. The balloon in my tummy is gonna bust. There's no one around. If I just do it really fast, I don't think anyone's gonna come in here.
Okay, I'll admit it, Rory. That was a good idea.
It's funny to see both our pee on the stone platform. I laugh and Rory purrs. I look back up at the embrasure. There's a bit of gold and red sunlight coming through the slit inside the tower. I want to see outside. I look all around the tower for something to stand on, to make me taller. But the only thing there is the rock platform. It's slippery with our pee, but I stand on it anyway. It works! I can see out the slit now. I can see the sun setting over the town right next to us, and the mountains really far away. And I can see men on horses. They're wearing turbans and robes with curved swords, and knights in armor with javelins. I learned about all this at school, and they've got pendants and spears. Rory leaps up on the stone beside me, and we both join the battle. He's roaring. I'm holding a bow in one hand. With the other, I draw the string and the arrow back. I'm a soldier, and I'm gonna get him. When I release the cord, I hear,
Leo, where are you?
"Oh no, that's Mommy."
Leo!
I put my imaginary bow down, grab my backpack out of the pee on the rock at my feet, and shove Rory inside.
Come on, Rory. Hurry.
Right when I close the bag, she comes around the corner.
Leo, what are you doing in here? Why did you run off?
And that's when I lose my balance and slip on the wet stone. I hold the bag to my side as I fall because I don't want to fall on top of Rory and hurt him. I can feel my head falling toward the stone. I can see it getting closer and closer to my face, but it takes forever, like when everything slows down in the movies. When my head finally smacks against the stone, I hear the voices. They sound really angry. There's this woman crying, and there's roaring too, and a gunshot. I don't like these voices. They hurt me inside my head. I think they're gonna tell me a story. 1936. Unknown fishing village in Cantabria, northern Spain.
Nay! I'm your horsey, Lord Juan.
What does it take to make a monster? 3-year-old Juan Fernández Ganza was riding on his mother's back. She was on all fours, cavorting around. They were in their one-room fisherman's shack with a dirt floor. His father glared at them from his chair in the corner.
Whee! Go, horsey, go! I shall take my nobleman back to his castle, to his riches, and to the lady who loves him. Giddy up, horsey, go! I'm a nobleman!
Suddenly, his father jumped from his chair. He slapped Juan across the back of the head, knocking him to the ground.
You're no nobleman. You're just a poor shit fisherman like me. Get that through your stupid brain.
And just like that, Juan's father had planted the embryo of a monster inside the little boy's body. As Juan's mother comforted him in the corner, cradling his head, she whispered,
You are a nobleman, my son. Never forget it. A lady will love you, and you will do great things.
Juan's mother died of sickness a few years later, and then his father by firing squad. Lots of people died this way during the war. Juan set out to become a real nobleman, to find a woman to love him. This was his way of honoring his mother's memory and sticking it to his father. The first thing a nobleman needs is fighting experience. He joined the French Legion and toured Africa. He was a knight from times of yore, fighting the Saracens in his hand-to-hand combat killing sprees. The monster inside him was growing. The second thing is money. He invested his mercenaries' wages in real estate in the Canary Islands. The fat, pasty-faced Germans were only too eager to shower him with their Deutschmarks, all for some shitty bungalows on the beach. He also opened a bar called Master Horse in honor of his favorite hobby. Because a nobleman also has to look the part. He learned to ride horseback and speak multiple languages.
Parlez-vous espagnol? Sprechen Sie Spanish? Parla españolo?
He wore a handlebar mustache with twisty, twirly tips and drank cognac. Lots of cognac. He also developed an interest in the occult, specifically in Ouija boards. Of course, he wasn't a real nobleman, but he looked the part. No one could see the monster growing strong inside him. Now, he just needed a lady to love him. And he found that lady at Master Horse, his bar. She was one of the dancers he employed there, a woman from the Philippines named Elsa Paita Ballesca. After they slept together, Juan got to talking.
My father used to hit me pretty often, you know. It was every day.
As he continued speaking, Elsa rolled over in the bed and held him tightly to her chest.
There are these images in my mind that I'm not sure if it's from my childhood.
A moment of compassion, of tenderness. Juan hugged her back, and then he said,
Elsa, I think I'm in love with you.
The nobleman had found his noble woman. The last thing a gentleman needs is a castle. And he settled on one in the peninsula, just 50 miles from Madrid, the castle of Coracera. The birthplace and residence of kings and queens ever since the 1400s. So, he bought it and moved there with Elsa. Standing in the great hall with the roaring fire, Juan put his arm around Elsa. He asked her,
Do you love me?
Elsa kissed him on the cheek and replied,
I love you so much.
And this tradition continued every day.
Elsa, do you love me? I love you, Juan. Do you love me, Elsa? I love you so much. Do you love me? Yes, Juan. I love you.
At least, for a while. Because poor Elsa didn't know that the monster inside Juan was about to complete his possession. The madness began one night while playing with his Ouija board. He received a message.
You are
Charles the Second.
Charles II, one of the original inhabitants of the castle in the 17th century. Of course, how had he not realized? Juan wasn't just a nobleman, he was the reincarnation of the king himself. He rushed to tell Elsa.
Elsa, do you realize I am a king? Do you love me, Elsa?
Why did his voice sound like that?
What's wrong with your voice, Juan? With my voice? Nothing.
Elsa couldn't see the monster's tendrils tightening around his throat, but she knew something was off. She hesitated.
Yes, Juan. I love you.
Juan did not appreciate this hesitation. It made him feel unloved, and the monster inside was enraged. So, he uncorked a bottle of cognac, and the monster drank from the bottle and grew strong. He took his horse and galloped through the town, cracking his whip on the sidewalk, his voice filled with growling. More cognac and more cognac.
Fucking villager!
He caught a few unlucky villagers with his whip, but no one reported him to the police. Years of brutal repression under the dictatorship had taught the impoverished Spaniards not to fight against wealthy gentlemen. Once his rampage was finished, he came home, drunk out of his mind. He stumbled into the stone tower on the corner, the one with a raised stone like a platform. He pissed on it, then staggered to his bedroom. There was a pistol on his nightstand. In a rage, he shot it at the wall above his bed, then fell asleep, his skull a vat of cognac, his brain soaking in it, wrapped in the monster's tendrils. The next morning over breakfast, Elsa said nothing to Juan. She had already heard of his drunken horseback rampage, whipping innocent villagers who happened to be in his path. Juan tried again.
Elsa, do you love me?
Why was he talking like that? She sighed.
Yes, Juan. I love you.
Again, too much hesitation for Juan. He wanted her to enthusiastically love him. And what creature enthusiastically loves its owner? A pet. Juan procured himself 2 lions and a tiger. Lions, fit for a king like himself, the reincarnation of King Charles II. Elsa was afraid of the animals when she saw them roaming the grounds. More than the cats, she was afraid of Juan himself. She didn't even speak to him when he took her to bed. And Juan, he no longer felt her love. Fine. If Elsa wouldn't love him, he would just find love elsewhere. He uncorked another bottle of cognac and called all the women in the region who sold themselves for money, and some who didn't. He threw a massive party in the Great Hall. He slept with all of them. He was the king and had rights to prima nocta, didn't he? When he was finished with them, he felt disgusted. He threw them out into the dark, rainy night.
Get out of my home!
The monster didn't care that the women were stark naked. And so, his madness continued for over a decade. Wild orgies, Ouija boards and spirits, seances, mad gallops through the village. And every night, he pissed on the stone in the corner tower,
then shot his pistol into the wall before falling into a drunken stupor. His inebriated brain embraced by the monster. One day, October 25th, 1985 to be exact, he had just zipped up his fly in the tower when Elsa walked in. She hadn't said a word to him in years. But now, she opened her mouth to speak.
Juan, I'm pregnant. It's yours.
His child? Finally! She would have to love him now. He asked again, his voice now entirely transformed.
Elsa, do you love me?
But she said nothing.
Do you love me?
Nothing. And rage invaded his body. He leapt for her and grabbed her arm, twisting it behind her back. He dragged her out of the tower. She moaned in pain, her shoulder about to pop out of its socket. He crossed the outdoor walkway, opened the door to his chambers, then shoved her onto the bed. Right next to the pistol on his nightstand.
I'm a king. You have to love me.
Rubbing her shoulder, she opened her mouth. Was she going to speak? Finally. Finally, she would say the words that Juan wanted to hear. But all she said, in a gasp, was,
I'm leaving you.
Juan pounced at her. The monster's tendrils squeezed around his throat, his brain. She dodged his body and squirmed out of his grasp, lunging across the bed toward the pistol on his nightstand. And Juan heard his father's words echo in his mind.
You're no nobleman. You're just a poor shit fisherman like me. Get that through your stupid brain.
The monster hadn't just possessed Juan. The monster had become Juan. His body began to writhe and palpitate, while he lurched across the bed at Elsa. Her eyes opened wide in absolute terror as he spat out saliva and growled, the tendrils squeezing around his brain and throat. What happened after that is still a matter of debate, even today. The following morning, when the police found Juan Fernández Ganza's lifeless body lying on the bed, his brains blown through his skull, they ruled it a suicide. And good riddance. The man would no longer terrorize the villagers on his midnight horseback rampages, whipping everything in his path. A suicide. Slam dunk done deal, nothing more to see here. The fact that there were 2 bullet casings on the floor? That there were 2 bullet holes in his head? Oh, no, none of that. The investigation was closed. Suicide, no more questions asked. Back in the Canary Islands, Elsa gave birth to her son. When she received word that he would be heir to Juan's fortune, a cool 300 million pesetas, she gave the following statement to the newspaper.
Juan was the only Spaniard and the first man in my life that I fell in love with.
San Martín de Valdeiglesias Village, Community of Madrid, 2025. I'm back in my bed now. Mommy tucked me in. She didn't touch my shoulder this time. She didn't even punish me for running off before, and I was sure she would. I think she was just so scared when she saw me hit my head. And she didn't see Rory either. I zipped up my backpack just in time. Thank goodness. I'm cuddling him between my legs, and I can feel his fur. I pet him. He is my best friend in the whole world.
Rory, I love you.
He doesn't answer me.
I love you, Rory.
I reach down and I keep petting him. I pass my hand up his back to his shoulder. Then I
start to squeeze. He hasn't answered yet, but now I know he will. I love him so much. Hola, Samuel here. It's easy when we can categorize people into labels: victims and abusers. Good people who deserve sympathy, and bad people who deserve our scorn. But what about when the labels blur together? When the victim is also an abuser? How do you classify that? Lots of things create trauma: child abuse, domestic abuse, societal injustice. We live in a world with lots of hurt people. I firmly believe that you aren't responsible for what happens to you, but you are responsible for how you react to it. Which means I don't have much sympathy for people who use their trauma as an excuse to be an asshole. Don't forget, some victims are also awful people. Being a victim in one area of life doesn't automatically make you virtuous in all the rest. I've seen lots of people in pain display some really shitty behavior. And the Coracera Castle has tons of examples of pain and shitty behavior. Most sources say the castle was built in 1434 by a man named Alvaro de Luna. He ended up getting decapitated. Juana the Mad, or Juana la Loca, also lived there. She was a royal who was a inconvenient piece in a political puzzle. They said she was crazy, and she ended up dying in confinement. Our character, Juan, died with his brains blown out on a bed that was supposedly hers. Then, Napoleonic forces used the castle as a base during their invasion of Spain in the early 1800s. And in the 1930s, the Nazi Condor Legion stayed at the castle when they came to fight on behalf of Franco's forces. It's suspected that they planned the bombing of Guernica at the Coracera Castle. Guernica, the subject of one of Picasso's most famous paintings. And then comes our friend Juan Fernández Ganza in the 1970s, the guy who fancied himself the reincarnation of Charles II. And that's something I've never quite understood. Charles II. He was severely inbred, and his Habsburg jaw was so pronounced that he had a hard time chewing his food. He was also impotent, and the lack of an heir led to the War of Spanish Succession in 1701, effectively ending the Habsburg reign. Of all the possible kings, why did Juan fantasize about this guy? Check out the show notes for a portrait of the guy, and you'll see what I mean. I'd also like to note that Elsa Pait actually had more than one child with Juan, and they separated and got back together again several times. I told the story the way the voices told me, condensed for dramatic purposes. But it looks like they had quite a tumultuous back-and-forth relationship over the course of years, filled with alcoholism, infidelity, and abuse. It's also worth mentioning that the press says that those close to Juan and Elsa said that she really did love him. Who knows? I've been to the Coracera Castle twice and walked over the courtyard where they say the skeletons of Juan's pet tiger and lions are still buried today. Both times I've gone with different friends, and both times, one of them has smacked their head on that tiny door. Along with a portrait of King Charles II, I'm giving you a few other links in the show notes today. First, an original press article about this story. Second, the location of the castle and the official webpage. There's an ownership dispute, so you can't visit it right now, but they say it should be open to the public again soon. I'd highly recommend checking it out. Just make sure you don't hit your head on that door. And last, a link to La Marca del Hombre Lobo, or The Mark of the Werewolf. This is a really cheesy horror movie, and it was filmed at the castle in the 1960s. Check it out even if you don't speak Spanish, just to see the setting. And you can see other images I've taken of the castle on our social media. Just search for @SpanishSundown on Instagram and Facebook. I'm Samuel Mattern, and I created and produced this podcast. Special thanks to Simon Jones for the original theme music. Until night falls and the voices speak again, thank you for listening to Spanish Sundown.